Hello, welcome back. So today we are back to working on my dad's tracker. We got a few items on the to-do list. So we got it running. We took it for a test drive, did some big smoky burnouts, obviously on private roads. And it runs pretty good. We need to change the oil. Probably should have changed the oil before burnouts. But that's okay. Doors. I think doors are on the list for today. So we've got door handles to change. We've got window actuators to do. The driver's side door gets changed completely. We put a new mirror on there. I got a helper in the garage today. And we're gonna do all that on this one. We're also going to work on my tracker. Haven't seen a lot of my tracker yet on the channel. We're gonna be working on my tracker today. And when I was changing the brakes on it, I found out this wheel cylinder is bad. So the brake video is coming up, going to be an upcoming video, but that's what we're doing today. So stick around. Is the last time, well, I'm sure my dad's done an oil change since then, but 9/11, I remember when it happened. I had kind of ditched school for the day to go with my dad. Don't know what we were doing, but we were in Idaho Falls at Jiffy Lube getting the oil changed on the tracker. And I remember seeing 9/11 on the TV. Went back to school that afternoon, but that's what I remember about 9/11. That's where it was. Yeah. Fun story about the tracker. Yeah. There you go. All right, we got the oil change done.
Okay.
Now on to probably driver's side. We're gonna do fender, door, mirror, and door handle.
I'm gonna do the mirror.
That's what we're gonna do.
Can I do the mirror? Help do the mirror?
You can help do the mirror.
What?
You ready?
Oh,
Fender's off. See, that's the old fender. Old bent up fender. All right.
Yeah. What's a new fender? Do you have a new fender?
I do. Believe it or not, I do. Now, you know what we're going to do?
Where's the other fender?
We're going to take the door off.
I like taking off doors.
And we need a 12 millimeter for that.
Okay.
Not your favorite part.
Yeah. Take it off.
Door's coming off.
Let me let this switch. The door comes off. Whoa! No more door!
No more door, look at that.
Yeah.
But you know what we're going to do? there's another door over there that we're gonna put back on. So we're gonna take this one.
Back on?
We're gonna stick it right there.
Oh my, oh my.
Oh my, oh my. You know what this is? Let's put a door on.
Come on. Yeah. Come on, I really want to put it on now. Oh, a little bit.
Have a little patience.
Okay. There. Now we need the little piece.
Look at that. It closes. See that? Look at that.
It's a no now.
Let's see. What goes next? Should we put the fender on next?
Yeah!
Fender on next. Let's see if we can get it on there.
Where?
We need a white fender to match our white door, don't we?
Yeah, but then where's red, from blue?
That looks nice, huh? All right. See this down here?
Oh, there's a hole.
Look. See right down here?
Yeah.
It's all bent. We need to bend that a little bit straight so we can get this thing back on there.
Yeah. Let's bend it very straight.
All right, so we got we're to this point now. We got the door switched out, got the door replaced. We still have to put all the insides in the door. We got to put the window in it. We got to put the window actuator in it, make sure it rolls up and down properly. We've got a little bit of, I don't know if you can see that, you got a little bit of work to do on this fender. If you look at that fender here, it got a little bent. These are all junkyard parts. So it's a little bent. We're gonna bend that fender back into shape. I'll do a little bit of hammering on that and put it all back together. Here we go. All right, so we did a little bit of work on the fender. Turn the camera around here. So we've reworked it from where it was to look a lot more like that. So I think it's not perfect if you look at the two of them, but I think it should be good enough to bolt on there. It's not exactly perfect, but it'll be all right. All right, so we got the fender back on here. It looks okay. It looks better than the old piece that's on there. We'll put it that way. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. It looks okay. Let's look at it here. So, looks all right on there. My gap here, they've actually got a lot of gap down here. A lot more gap than I want. But I'm gonna play with the door a little bit and see if I can get it to fix. But my gap back here actually looks pretty good. So it's possible that when this thing was sideswiped, that damaged that door, damaged that fender. It's possible some things got bent out of whack. So we'll look at that. It ain't perfect, but it's we're getting there. Next thing to do is put the mirror on. We're gonna put the window in it. We get the window actuator, goes up and down, get that working right. And get the door all put back together. This is exciting. My dad's been looking forward to having windows that go up and down for a long time. That's one of the reasons he didn't want to drive this, because the windows just don't work. So let's go.
Can I help put it on? Can I do this? Can I help with it? Can I do it, Dad? Can I?
Just a minute. Yes, you can. Go for it. Screw that on there. All right, we got the door on. Got the door all put back together. So we got the door panel. Let me put this away. Here we go. We got the door panel on it. It's not a perfect door panel, but it's better than the other one. We got this here. We got door handles that work. A window in it. All right. Here's the moment of truth. Does the window go up and down? Look at that. The other thing. Oh, gotta move the stuff off the seat here. All right, here's the other one. See, the door's closed. And grab the handle. All right, look out. And door's open. So you got one functional door. So we got to rebuild the other door. We got a little bit of work to do, but it's coming along. So we switched trackers, switched projects. I got done what I need to on my dad's tonight. It's time to work on mine. It is Saturday. My goal is to drive this to work on Monday. What has to be done is I have to change the wheel cylinder. It is rusted shut. It doesn't work, so I have no brakes on the back on this side. I got a new one in the box over there, and we're gonna get it swapped out. I discovered that when I was doing brakes. So we're gonna get that swapped out. We're gonna get emergency brake cables on it, and that should be it. We should be ready to get it. We'll have to bleed the brakes and everything. We'll get it back on the road. So we'll see what happens. All right, so I'll show you my setup here. I told you I have my little helper helping me today. She's helping me bleed the brakes. So I've got her sitting inside. Smile. I've got her sitting on the floor. She's going to be pushing the pedal down for me. And I'm going to be back here at the bleeder screw. There's about 5 feet difference between the two. And bleed them. So she's a very good helper, and she's helping out a lot. Here we go. So I'll show you some of the fun part of putting the emergency brake cables in. So what I got to do, I'll show you here. What I got to do is I got to take that old cable out of there. There's a bolt. You can see the bolt right up here. See the bolt right here has got to come out. There's a new bracket that goes in there. And then they get, if you can see this, then they get threaded up through there and inside the cab. And then inside the cab, I kind of got to unbolt the whole thing, and this is the cables. There's one for the passenger side and one for the driver's side. I gotta poke them up through the hole. And hook them up. All right, so we got the emergency brake cables put in. We put the fuel filter all back together, put everything back together. We tried to start it, and unfortunately, I still have a problem. I don't know what the issue is. So we're gonna leave it for tonight. We'll come back another time and we'll get her running again. I'm not sure what's wrong with it, but we'll figure it out. So that's my tracker. My dad's tracker still runs great. It's like I said before, got a fender on it, got the door on it. The window goes up and down, door opens and closes, and it's in good shape. So emergency brake cable was a bit of a pain in the butt, but it all came together. So once I get it running right, it'll be a lot of fun to drive. I figured this would be a good video to give a little bit of backstory on my dad's tracker. So this started out, my sister sold it to my dad several years ago, about 22 years ago. I think she sold it to him in 2000, give or take. And I'm not sure what year it was we actually did it, but we were living in an area where there's a lot of snow, and we needed something to be able to plow the road with, and a plow on the front of a pickup is a complete joke. You need a good snowblower. And so we had a couple 32-inch John Deere walk-behind snowblowers that the engine was blown up on, and look, those pull-out tape measure. How wide is that tracker? I wonder. So we put 2 and 2 together and a little bit of work, and we ended up putting bolting the two blowers side by side, the two 32-inch blowers side by side, and mounting them to the front of the tracker. I'll put some pictures and some video into the setup we had. Did a pretty neat setup. When I went over to pick the tracker up from my dad, I wanted to get it running for him. Tell us all about how this thing works.
Okay, this lever here, we'll put the belts in here, loosen tight your belts. Got a million different little pullings on it and stuff. We'll do that. And this hose, this air hose, for the intake of the carburetor goes inside the cab, so it had warm, clean air, so that the snow didn't, so the carburetor didn't ice up. That little winch motor over here, this little winch motor over here, we'll turn the chutes back and forth. And the radiator right here, the fan, you turn it on and off from inside, and here's the radiator cap. And then this switch here would raise it up and down.
So inside the cab here, you've got all your controls. You've got your throttle control here. You've got your chute control left and right. You've got your up and down. You got your air intake. You got your off and on. No, you got your start and stop for it. I don't remember what that one was. That was your fan for your heater fan. I got a little bit of video. I had him do a walk around on it and should tell us a little bit about it. Tell us how it worked. It actually ended up working really well, except for the one problem we had is that the tracker wouldn't go slow enough for the blower to work and to blow the snow. Even in low range, it just wasn't quite slow enough when we get into any heavy snow or anything like that, it just wouldn't keep up. It'd dog it down and it'd stall out the motor on the blower. But it was a lot of fun. I ran it a little bit, drove it a little bit with the blower on it. It was kind of cool. So I'll show you some of the stuff we did to mount the blower to it. You'll see the video of us explaining how it works, but a little bit of the stuff we did. I'll grab a light here so you can see better. So the blower actually mounted to these two points here. That's where the main blower mounted. We had the winch hooked up there. So that's a pretty significant piece of pipe there. And then we had to hook that into the frame. My brother-in-law helped us a significant amount put this together. So that all welds up into the frame. And then to give it the extra support from hitting the snowbanks and stuff, we welded these tubes on here that go all the way back, tied way back into the frame back there anyway, so those are what give it the extra support that it needs to hold up that blower. On the back of it, walk around the back behind the tracker here and show you. On the back of it here, you know, it's how it kind of has 3 receiver hitches. We made a basket for the back of it. Sorry, point it this way. So it has the 3 receiver hitches here. We wanted a standard receiver hitch so we could tow a little bit with it. It's small, you don't tow very much with it, but we put a basket on here that hung up about 2 feet, and we put tire chains, old skidder chains or truck chains or whatever chains we had on it for counterweight, because the blower was really heavy on the front. If we didn't put the counterweight on the back, it would just pick the back wheels off the ground. And so we put the counterweight on the back and the blower on the front. It actually ended up working really well. And then at some point, my dad had to change the clutch in it because it wouldn't go slow enough. We'd slip the clutch, and we ended up burning up the clutch. And eventually, the the clutch got really soft in it, and he put a parts store clutch in it, just kind of generic off the shelf parts store clutch in it, and the pressure plate on that clutch was too soft, and even trying to push the blower, it would just slip the clutch. It wouldn't work right. Eventually it got parked. That's why it's been sitting about 8 or 10 years. It got parked, and my dad built another blower, equally as cool. It went on his backhoe. He has a backhoe that went on. But maybe I'll do a video about that in the future, but it's basically a standard blower that goes on the front of a tractor, powered by a snowmobile engine. So it's pretty epic. First iteration of this blower that was on here, it was a 16 horsepower 2-cylinder engine. That engine lasted, it lasted through a little bit of testing, and then it burned up. We ended up putting a 503 Rotax 2-stroke snowmobile engine on it that worked really good. It was a lot of horsepower, plenty for the blower. But that's a little bit of history about this. A few of the summers we'd take the blower off. It's a lot of work to take it off. We'd take the blower off, and we'd drive it around in the summer and go hunting and all sorts of places, do a little bit of four-wheeling with it, but it was a lot of fun. I loved this tracker. This is the one that got me slightly obsessed with trackers. I just love how small they are, how compact, and how well they work, which led me to get mine. That's another story. I've made a video about that. I don't know if it'll post before this one or after this one, but that's a little bit of story. So that's the story of my dad's tracker. So it's been sitting. We've missed driving it, so I decided to get it for him and fix it up for him, get it running again, get the windows and doors working. We went through the video today on the fender and door. So yeah, thanks for watching.